All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everybody. We are excited about today's show. We've got a lot of ground to cover, and our hope, our goal, our plan is to bring some good news to you, some positive stories, some good news, some updates. Certainly, we are going to talk about real estate and all things residential across the great state of Texas. We're going to focus here on Dallas-Fort Worth, as we always do. Take your questions just like we always do. You can send those to us on social media, Facebook at Todd Tramonte or at Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. You can get them to us on Instagram and all kinds of other places at Todd Tramonte Realtors. For longtime listeners, you know this. For some first-time listeners and new folks with us, I run the Todd Tramonte home selling team all week long, and so a lot of our social media and our websites are oriented there. But this show is not entirely about, our company. It's about being a resource to friends, neighbors, and homeowners all over Dallas-Fort Worth. And there's a lot of work to do today in regard to being a resource to home buyers, home sellers, neighbors, friends, and really just homeowners of all kinds. We will talk about buying and selling right now. That's not at the forefront of most people's minds right now, and that's perfectly okay. As a matter of fact, that's wise decision making for many of us. I know there are some who do want and need to buy and sell, and so we will take your questions and we will cover that topic and that ground. And I think I've got some really encouraging news I know I've got some really encouraging news for you. And I'm not alone today. We are joined, as is almost always the case, by the one and only Yanni Donnie, the Ian Daniels, the English wonder. And we'll ask the obligatory question, as we always do at this time of the show. Ian, how English do you plan to be today?
Well, Todd, I'm glad you asked. I am feeling magical and American because we just rescheduled our Disney trip that was going to be happening in a couple months, though is now not. But we are going to be going over the Christmas period, hopefully. So I am feeling very American because I've got Disney on my mind.
All right, so Ian is very low levels of English today, and I think that's okay. Patriotism is high. We'll keep it very American. Yesterday on a group training, he used his West Texas accent, and I hate that we can't share that with you because it was incredible. We're also joined by the producer extraordinaire, the king of content, the one and only, and rare occasion with a microphone, the young MG, Mason Goss. Welcome, Mason.
Thanks for having me.
Ooh, kept it professional.
I really thought he was going to be muted.
Kept it professional. I'm proud of you, Mason. Proud of you. Mason's been getting a lot of audio and video time lately because he and his delightful wife, Ginny, have been fully executing the 2-year flip strategy, buying their own place. So we'll get back to Mason. He'll get plenty of time on air today. And
still clean shaven as well.
He's also without beard, but he's slowly letting her grow back here. So he's warming up those cheeks here as quickly as he can. We're excited to update you guys on lots of real estate happenings. Real estate agents were deemed essential this week. It was not the case. Real estate agents, yeah, here we go. Oh gosh, which button is it? There we go. Everyone's very happy about that. Very happy. We've got a new board here to run the show with, and there's all sorts of excitement coming. We're just like everybody else, by the way. We're doing radio shows from the house and representing real estate clients from home and being as virtual as we can. But in regard to Governor Abbott establishing a clear delineation that real estate agents are essential is a big change this week. So if you're one of our fans and friends and listeners who's a real estate agent and somehow you didn't catch that news, it doesn't change a lot because settlement practices and closings were able to happen. And we still, I'm speaking to real estate agents right now, we still need to be very careful, respectful of boundaries and safety and health with regard to entering people's homes and engaging in-person contact with our clients. We've got to maintain social distancing, 6 feet apart if you can at all times. But this does free up the ability to do kind of what we call a decision showing, that last step of the process where you would take a buyer through a home, either whether we're representing the buyer or the seller, and allow them to physically see the home that they intend to buy. In a normal market, that might be, somebody goes out and views 12, 13, 14 homes and views a home 2 or 3 times before they buy it. That's where we're utilizing zero touch showings, online video, still photographs, virtual tours, Matterport video, all sorts of different technology to minimize those physical visits. So the governor has made it very clear that his order supersedes local orders, city and county orders. But for the most part, we want to continue to shelter in place and avoid interaction with other folks outside of our household. But we can when needed. And the truth is, it is needed. It's not needed for everybody. It may not even be needed for most people. But just imagine the scenario, single parent loses a spouse, loses a job, needs to sell a home to get the equity to support their family, needs to downsize and get into a smaller home, needs to get into a certain area to keep kids in school, with the loss of a job, loss of a family member, loss of significant income or net worth from the stock market or something. There are quite a few scenarios where your home, getting out of one or into one, is essential, right? It's not essential for everybody who's speculating and feeling out the market. But a lot of real estate is. And so we appreciate the governor carefully, and it was not his initial instinct to do that. Many counties and some cities did not deem real estate essential, but they've listened to the National Association and the Texas Association and local real estate agents who, for the most part, certainly not everybody, but for the most part, really are genuinely focused on serving neighbors first right now. By all means, it's important and really exciting that real estate agents are going to be able to continue to make a living. But it's equally, if not more important, that people whose homes are essential are able to finalize transactions, make those moves, protect their families, get access to their home equity in a time where funds are low and those kind of things. So that's how the Todd Tramonte home selling team will proceed. If we can ever help you with any of this, you can call us or text us anytime at 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or you can always find us online at overunderagent.com. That's overunderagent.com. We are going to take your questions today. We've got a pile of questions already, so I'm trying to answer some of those just as we kind of introduce and update some new information here. But there are plenty of your questions. You are always welcome to send those to us throughout the week at the radio show website, treradio.com. You can find all of our recommended vendors and professionals there at all times. This first segment of the show is always brought to you by Patrick Glaros and his team over at Cardinal Financial. You can find them online at patrickglaros.com. That's Glaros. Patrick and his team believe, just like I do, that each and every person is gifted uniquely by God to do what they do at a really high level and share their gifts with the world. And his team is built similarly to ours, and his team is excellent with Melanie and Rick and Patrick and their underwriting team. And they are the best in the business, in my opinion, when it comes to mortgage loans, refinances, buying your own home as an investment, your personal residence as a second home, lake home, rental home, or any of those things. You're going to want to reach out to Patrick Glaros and his team at patrickglaros.com. Or as always, you can find any of our recommended pros and their contact information 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at treradio.com. Now, I know we have some questions I haven't touched on yet. Go ahead and hit me with those, fellas. And then we're going to have a little special surprise for everybody. We're going to bring the Todd Tramonte home selling team kiddos on air today because we're doing the show from home and we have the opportunity to do that. But the reason we're going to do that is we're going to talk about ways that people are utilizing their home in such a unique time where we're home all the time. We're home to work. We're home to educate our kiddos. We're home to play with the kids. We're at home for date night with a spouse. We're at home for entertainment and exercise and all those things. So we're going to talk about different ways that we're doing that. Mason can speak to how that's happening as a young couple without kiddos. And Ian and I will share with our children what we're doing in regard to having small children. So we'll get to that here in a little bit. But beforehand, go ahead, fellas, with some of those questions.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good question that we got. this is the normal time of year where we begin to get a lot of things ready for the summer for our houses. So AC is the big one, right? Um, Obviously, right now we're in a time where we're trying to social distance and not have a bunch of people over to our homes. How can we still go about doing that safely? Is this still the right time of year to go about doing some of those things? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, the shortest answer, and some really important information here as well, is virtually anything related to home or building maintenance has been deemed essential. So, including landscaping, by the way. Now, again, all the appropriate distance and safety precautions. But if you've got an issue with your home, like a heating or air conditioning or electrical or plumbing issue, home is where everything's happening right now. You've got to be able to maintain your home. So yes, you, I think, can and should still do that. Now, if you've got kind of a nuisance issue that's not really affecting your day-to-day life, and you're concerned about kind of breaching that germ net, then you don't need to do that, of course. I mean, you can put that off for a while. But if you've got a leak, or your house isn't heating or cooling or something major, you are certainly able to, and it is legal to call one of those vendors. And we would strongly recommend that you go to treradio.com and find one of our recommended pros. Since we've been on, quarantine, shelter in place, unfortunately, we had to have the internet folks over. And we, very carefully, I instinctively went to shake the guy's hand as soon as the door opened, and he kind of gave me a look, and I was like, oh, sorry, and pulled back real quick and kind of did a virtual elbow bump without actually touching. And then we had one other thing. I can't remember what it was. But we had
I had the same situation happen with our building mate, the man who owns the building next to us at the office. I was up there cleaning this past weekend, and he came, knocked on the door, and said, "Hey," and I immediately went for the handshake, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" And I just, it's instinctive.
Well, luckily, our instinct is to connect with people and to shake hands or hug somebody or high five or whatever. And I can't wait to get back to the ability to do some of that. Big fan of the high five, by the way. Big supporter of the high five. Yeah, those people are able to come to your home and help you maintain your home. I probably wouldn't be doing a bunch of frivolous, unnecessary, home improvement stuff right now, but residential and commercial construction is allowed. And if it's essential to maintaining your home, or, in a lot of ways, if you're at home and you're seeing some things you would like done for spring and summer when these restrictions are lifted, and that can be done safely and securely, residential and commercial construction and property maintenance are, based on my understanding, and I've read every word of the Dallas County order, the Collin County order, and the recent clarification that Governor Abbott put out, those are allowed to be done. Now, we're going to get to a bunch more of your questions throughout the show, but I do want to remind you that if you have specific needs in regard to those vendors, you've got to go to treradio.com. That's where all that information is. Stryker Roofing, we've had a ton of rain lately. We had a pretty good amount of high wind in my area yesterday. I've had some questions about roofers. Our recommended roofing company is Stryker Roofing. You can go to strykerbuilds.com, B-U-I-L-D-S, strykerbuilds.com, or always the easiest thing, just to go to treradio.com. You're also going to find information there on our recommended home inspectors, our recommended, by the way, insurance has been tip top of mind right now. DP Lambert at Goosehead Insurance, dp.lambert@goosehead.com for an email. All that information is at treradio.com. And we're going to bring in the kiddos now. We're going to talk a little bit about how your home is being used during these unique times. Stick with us. We're going to come back to more of your questions after that, but we're going to bring in the kiddos. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll you never know what they might reveal about life at home with our team and doing a radio show. So we'll grab those kiddos and share a little bit with you right now. All right, folks, we're super excited to have a unique opportunity to bring the kiddos on air here for you're listening to Texas Real Estate, by the way, normally with Todd Tramonte, but today with the Tramonte kids and the Daniels kids. So everyone's got to have a chance to say hello really quick. Why don't you go first, Daniels kiddos?
Noah, you got it? Say hi.
Hi.
Paige.
Hi.
That's Noah and Paige, the brain trust of the Daniels family over there.
How old are you, Noah? How old are you? 8. Paige.
7.
All right.
All right, we're gonna go littlest to biggest over here. Who's this right here? Say hi. That's Lainey. How old is Lainey? 4. Big 4 though. 4 plus. Come on, lean in here to the microphone.
Hi.
Who's that?
Allie.
That's Allie. And how old are you, Allie?
8.
Allie's 8 years old, and she misses her friends at school big time. Daddy made a April Fool's joke this week about going back to school. It did not go over well. Who's this guy?
Carter.
Right here in the microphone.
Carter.
Carter who?
Tramonte.
How old are you?
9.
All right, I've got a couple questions for the kiddos real quick. What has it been like to be at home where your house is your house and it's your school and it's your PE room and it's your fun room and your entertainment room and it's everything. Everything's happening at home. So what's that been like, Noah?
Good.
Yeah? Have you liked it a lot?
Yeah.
Are you ready to
What
go
type of
back
stuff you
to
been doing?
The Bible verse.
Sure. Yeah. Bible reading. What else? What have we done outside?
Have you done any math?
Computer. Yeah, we done math.
Yeah. Have you done any PE, physical education? Have you gotten any workouts in?
We played basketball yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's way better than normal PE. Except for that game at PE with the bowling pins and the Frisbees. Oh, I love that game. What about you, Paige? What have you guys been doing at home? Where's school taking place? What room is school?
The dining room.
The dining room. That's a good call. That's a good
What
call.
have you done
All right.
outside? What did you learn the other day or start to learn?
Trying to ride my bike.
Yeah.
Nice. Very strong. If you can come out of this thing learning to ride a bike, you win. Lainey, what has it been like at our house having everything at home? What's your favorite thing we've been doing together at home? I think it's been swimming. That's my guess. Yeah. All right, Allie, get in here. I know you're missing your friends at school, but what has it been like to have school at home?
I like it because I get to see my family all the time. I don't like when I don't have to have 7 hours without being with my family.
That's a great answer. Makes your daddy.
What an answer,
That's
man.
right. I didn't even pay for that one. All right. Now, Carter, big man Carter's missing baseball. He's missing his friends. He's missing all kinds of stuff. But what is your favorite thing been at home? Right here, real loud.
Well, probably swimming every single day.
When the weather's been nice, we've been doing a lot of swimming. Hold on. So what part of the here's my favorite thing for you. My wife does like the boot camp style workouts, and she's been doing them at home on video. And I'll come out into the game room or I'll look out the window and all the kids are doing workouts, but Carter is like super intense. So are you bulking up? You putting on some weight for next baseball season? How have the workouts been? Really good? Tiring? Yeah. That kid will work up a sweat. So that's
Bulking up, home run hitter. Come on.
That's kind of how things have been at the Daniels house and the Tramonte house as far as the kids' perspective. And we'll take a second here to talk about the adult perspective of what's it like to think about home now as where we spend time together, where we eat together, where we also educate the kids and try to be physically active and all those things. So Ian, just give us an idea real quick, like literally how are you utilizing the space in the house to adequately kind of separate all those different functions? Maybe you're not, maybe it's all in the kitchen, but what's the plan?
Yeah, we're super thankful for the house that we have. So downstairs we have a bedroom that was always the guest bedroom, and that is now my office because it has a door that we can close, and the kids get to have the rest of the downstairs. So the dining room is now the school room. The living room is the chill time room, and then upstairs my wife's office doubles as the playroom. And we are just trying to utilize as many rooms as we can, and then have a good amount of outside playtime and fun time and all that good stuff too. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I think some people that are listening, I don't know, some people might be rolling their eyes, but I think a lot of us are struggling with that, right? I mean, if the kitchen is all of those things, then A, you just get sick of being in the same place all day long. B, you're kind of mentally associating a lot of different things with one space, and it's hard to shift gears. And
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
you know, when I was in Uganda, you know, one of the things that really hit home for me was how I need to be more joyful and thankful for a lot of things. And this really crazy time has really kind of challenged my thinking on that, right? On, do I want to be, am I going to be thankful, or am I going to complain about a lot of this stuff? And I've been challenged with myself to try and make sure that I'm staying happy and thankful, to spend more time with these two crazies, even when it can get really, really tough.
If you're watching on video, you can tell that they don't really look crazy at all, but I've seen them, and I've seen all 5 of these children full of sugar, and crazy is not even the beginning of it.
Yeah, right now they just look confused.
Yeah. So
I'd like to give the kid perspective from the Goss house. The other day, we built a fort out of pillows and blankets. It was a little date night, and it was a blast. We had snacks. We watched our favorite shows.
To be clear,
just enjoyed
the
the
only
fort.
Children at the Goss house are Mason and his wife Jenny, who are
in our mid-20s,
young professionals in their mid-20s. My children also built a fort and had snacks and watched a movie. I think that was yesterday in the living room. So congratulations on keeping a youthful spirit in the home. You got to mix it up a little bit. And that's kind of what I was going to say is, look, you know, what we're talking about is using the space in your home, you know, creatively. I do think from a psychological perspective that we associate a lot of things with physical space. And that's one of the reasons I love real estate. The right environment can really have a tremendous impact on our lives, right? An environment that feels safe, bright, optimistic is a real positive impact. An environment that feels confining, restrictive, dark, unsafe, you know, smells, lighting, all those things are impactful. So when we have the privilege, which many of us in North Texas do, to have a dining room and a kitchen and multiple bedrooms, then we can spread these things out a little bit and really encourage and support our kiddos, our marriages, our you know, friendships with roommates, you know, whatever the case may be. But that's a big deal. The other thing I would add is that when we take the time to actually think about that, instead of just surviving this time, and we can be really intentional about it, and whether it's the use of space or the way we lay out our daily calendar, with trying to get it all done at home, we have the opportunity to look back on this time with some real fondness. I believe this is going to be, I mean, I don't think it's a far stretch, that this is going to be one of those pivotal moments in our lives, you know, like for a lot of people, the JFK assassination was, or 9/11 was, or the Challenger explode. I mean, those were all really negative. Listen, coronavirus is absolutely going to be negative in the fact that many, many, many people have and will get sick, and lives have and will be lost. But we also have a different dynamic here that we could look back on positively, right? We could look back and say, look, many of us spent whatever it's going to be, a month or 2 or 3 at home with our families and had the richest, most valuable experience with our children, with our spouses, you know, with our roommates, you know, time to reflect, time to refocus on what's important, time to read, you know, whatever the case may be. But if it's wasted, we will hopefully just survive it and move on. But if
definitely doesn't stop it from being difficult though, but it is a great opportunity. It's time that we're never, it's time I didn't expect with my kids, and it's time that I don't think we'll get again.
Right. I mean, when are you ever gonna? I told you guys I made a bad joke about the dog wanted to get on the radio show too. There, I made a bad joke with my kids about, hey, they lifted the shelter in place. You guys are going to go back to school next week, and then I said April Fools, and one of them cried. But after that, as part of my recovery, I was like, look, if we don't go back to school, you have a 6-month summer. When your uncle and your aunt and I were kids, we would have given you every dollar in our piggy bank. We would have traded our favorite toys for a 6-month summer. But the fact is, there may be where we have 4 of 6 or all of 6 months to really deeply invest with our children, those of us that have children. When will that ever happen again? Where you'd be at home together, if not every single day, almost every single day for a 6-month stretch. In a lot of ways, that's frustrating and annoying, but in a lot of ways, it's a huge gift and a privilege. So we'll wrap up with that. Hopefully you're using your home well. If you have tips and ideas about that, share those with us on Facebook at Todd Tramonte or at Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. Find all of our recommended professionals and vendors over at treradio.com. Again, Stryker Roofing. I've been getting a lot of questions about roofing because we got some really heavy rain really fast with some wind. And you might, if you've got a leak of any kind, it's absolutely okay. It's essential to have them out. StrykerBuilds.com, StrykerBuilds.com. Anything else you might be looking for, you could probably find over at treradio.com. In the second half of the show today, after the break, we've asked some of our real estate agents from the Todd Tramonte home selling team to call into the show and just tell us what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're experiencing, what they're achieving out in the marketplace just in the last several days, right? So we're going to hear from, I don't even know who's calling or necessarily when, but we'll go to a break here in a second.
Ooh, I do. I can game. We got Leah, Jeremy, John, and David all calling in.
Yeah. So we've got a handful of our agents that are going to call in, some from the Fort Worth office, some from the Dallas side office in Richardson, and just share how are people feeling? What are they doing? What are they willing to do? What are they not willing to do? And where's the market and all sorts of really good information. Plus, hopefully we'll have some encouraging success stories just to let you know what's possible out there. So we will be right back with more Texas real estate right here on WBAP. Welcome back, folks. We're having a bunch of fun on this show today. We got the kids involved, and remember, we've asked several of our agents, our team members, our specialists, to call into the show today. I think we're going to jam them all in here in the next, 10, 15 minutes or so. So stay tuned for that. We'll just kind of take them as they come. If we could ever help you, you're going to hear from some of our team members today, but if we can help you buy, sell, invest, just talk about your home, maintenance, improvements, any of those things ever, regardless of whether we're going to earn a commission or not. If we can help you with anything, call or text us at 214-310-0008. That's the Todd Tramonte home selling team, 214-310-0008. Just save that number in your cell phone. Share it with anybody you want. We are thrilled to be a valuable resource in the community, especially at times like this right now. 214-310-0008, or as always, online at overunderagent.com, because we do still guarantee to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. Now, we've had a question that has come in multiple times every single day for the last 3 weeks. We talked about it on the show last week, but it might have been asked a little differently this week. So Ian, go ahead with kind of the number one question.
Yeah, biggest question that I've been talking to people about is this a good time to buy a home, especially for people that are looking as an investment property, a second home, or if somebody's been renting and they're looking to try and get into a home to begin with.
Yeah. Okay. Couple of things rolled up in there. Number one, really quick, we do get asked quite a bit if we also help people buy homes. And the answer is yes, for sure. At the Todd Tramonte home selling team. Hold on one second. We've got one of our agents calling in here. Let's see if we can get Leah piped in here. Leah, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can get you on air. We are testing doing all of this fun stuff from home. And Leah, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Can you guys hear Leah? Look at that. We are doing a radio show from the house. Almost like we know what we're doing. All right, Leah, I was answering a quick question. Let me answer it real quick, and feel free to chime in if you want to help answer it. And then we'd love to ask you a quick question. But the question was just, is it a good time to buy right now? A, for an investor type, or B, for someone that just needs a home. And I was pointing out that occasionally people ask, do we actually help people buy homes too? Because we talk about selling a lot more on the radio. The answer is yes, we absolutely help people buy. As a matter of fact, Leah specializes in buyers only. She's in our Fort Worth office. But to further
you can't
answer
make
that
this
question,
stuff up, Todd. What are the odds that that would happen?
I mean, what are the odds? Ironically, we only planned part of that. And we actually did not plan beforehand that Leah would call during that question, but that's wonderful. But here's the deal. Yes, we help buyers. And yes, it is a very effective time to buy, strategically speaking. Now, there are some precautions and some limitations compared to the normal way. But especially since Governor Abbott has lifted the restrictions on real estate agents, we are now able to show property. We were able to do everything but show property up until then, and now we can. So the answer is yes. If you want to, if you're highly motivated to buy, or if you're highly motivated because you need to buy, then it's a great time. And here's a couple of reasons why it's a great time. Sellers are not quite as confident as they were otherwise going to be this spring. Sellers were coming into this spring guns blazing, prices high, expecting super short turn times. And honestly, January and February looked like that. We were expecting a gangbusters, really successful spring. And in some regard, if you factor in coronavirus, we're still seeing that. Now, things are slipping for sure. Total transactional activity is slipping. But I know Leah's been busy. David on our team has been busy. Brandon on our team has been busy. And those are our agents that specialize with buyers. So the answer to the question is yes. As an investor, you have an opportunity to take advantage of unbelievably low interest rates. It is a low inventory market, so buyers are going to still probably be competing with other buyers because there's not a lot of houses to choose from. But we are seeing, unfortunately, this scenario is bringing some sellers to market that otherwise would not be selling. They're selling because they need to get their equity out of their house because maybe they lost their job, or maybe they lost some wealth in the stock market or something like that. So that's not a positive. We're not excited that people may be selling when they otherwise wouldn't want to. But if you're asking about buyers, both as an investor and as a traditional homeowner, those are opportunities for you. And I believe when this is over, the market's going to take off like a rocket ship, and those opportunities for buyers are going to go away again. And it's going to go back to being a good time to buy, but challenging. Leah, before we ask you some other questions, would you have anything to add or take away from that answer?
No, I mean, I think it's great. I would have said the exact same thing. I'm partial to buyers because that's who I work with and like to work with. But, there's a lot of buyers both just here, that already lived in Fort Worth and DFW as a whole that are looking to make a move. But there's also a lot of buyers that are still looking to move here from out of state and elsewhere. I'm
Right.
working with buyers from Georgia, from Las Vegas, from Arizona, from Michigan, like all over the
Right.
place. And they had planned on moving here originally around this time, but their plans haven't necessarily changed that much because of Corona. So they are still, planning on making a move.
Right. A job
And they're,
opportunity
of course,
or
standard. Yep. Job opportunities, family, retirement, all of the above. But, they're of course the ones that are checking in like, hey, is this still a good time to buy? Like, what do you think? And so, I say the exact same thing. Like, yeah, there is definitely an opportunity. There are still homes on the market, even though it is low inventory, but that's how it's always been. So we can work around that.
Right.
Plus low interest rates, plus sellers being a little bit scared and more willing to work a deal because of the unknown and uncertainty during this time.
You got it. I mean, overall, it's an unpleasant time, but there are opportunities. And in my opinion, this is the best opportunity for a home buyer in North Texas in a decade, in 10 plus years. Leah specializes working with home buyers on the Fort Worth side of things. She's in our Fort Worth office. Leah Littenberg, she is absolutely fantastic. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's the queen of amazing buyer deals that should not have been put together outside of her unbelievably unique skill set. And her husband, Alan, also works kind of in the real estate housing world too. They've been putting some videos out on social media just on basic things for home maintenance and how to protect your property value. It's been super, super valuable. And that's kind of her heart, is just to serve homeowners. Of course, she'd love to help you if you're thinking about buying a house in the Fort Worth area. you can reach out to her. If you want to share your phone number, Leah, go right ahead.
Sure. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's 817-507-8420.
Yep. And if for some reason you didn't memorize that, you can always find the team at 214-310-0008, or you can go to overunderagent.com, and we will gladly connect you with Leah and have her take care of you. I just referred her some folks out in the Fort Worth area the other day. And when we say we're a team, we are a team. I talk with Leah every single morning on our team huddle, and we're Zooming all the time and, laughing with kids and dogs and spouses in the background, all that good stuff. Leah, thank you so much for your call. Before you go, real quick, just give me like 20 seconds on the overall level of activity and interest. Like, who are you talking to? How are your daily calls going? Any fun success stuff? Just give me like 20 seconds on that.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, overall, it's been really, really, really good. Like I said, there are still a lot of buyers that are wanting and needing to buy right now. One that I'm working on right now specifically was a new first-time homeowners. Their lease is up in May, and so we've been looking for a few months. We found them the perfect home basically right as the COVID-19 restrictions came into play at the beginning, mid-March. So we pulled all the stops, put in an aggressive offer with a personal letter to the sellers and everything. They ended up receiving multiple offers, but chose ours. A lot of it emotionally attached to my buyers because of their letter. They said that
There it is.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yeah,
Good
they were
timing.
like, we feel like you are the younger version of us. So I was like, sweet, it worked. But I think like where the biggest part of this that came into play with the whole seller's uncertainty and being more willing to make a deal right now is when it came to repairs. So it's a 1920s historical home in one of the historical districts here in Fort Worth. So there was, there's always some more major things per se that need to be repaired on an almost 100-year-old or on a 100-year-old home. And the seller basically agreed to fix a bunch of stuff underneath the house in terms of foundation and wood rot. Plus, they gave my buyers an additional $3,000 back at closing to fix anything else they needed.
Nice.
And then we just got word, I guess, on Monday that the appraisal came in over purchase price. So
all right.
Again, like it's an awesome time to buy because sellers are a little bit weary. They want to make a deal. They say, yeah, like we'll do whatever it takes to get this deal done, essentially. And the market is still strong. So
and a lot of the uncertainty in the market, sellers aren't wanting to gamble and see, is it going to get worse? Is it going to get better? We're hearing a lot of them say, I'll take what I can get right now. So thank you so much for your time, Leah. That was super, super helpful and informative. Again, if you're in the Fort Worth area and you're even vaguely thinking about buying, or if you just like some information about maintaining and protecting your property value and you'd like to connect with Leah, you could email her anytime, Leah with an H, Leah@toddtramonte.com. But anytime you need a real estate expert, just reach out to our team and we'll get you connected at overunderagent.com. Thank you so much, Leah.
You're welcome.
Real quick.
Happy to help.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you soon. Real quick for folks that are curious about that, definitely reach out overunderagent.com. If you're curious what your home would sell for right now, you want to go to valuethishouse.com. You can find out. You need to be checking your property value and keeping a little bit closer eye on it right now. So that's something I would do at least twice a year in any market. In this market, I would be doing that monthly. If you sign up, if you check your value at that website and you'd like to, you can sign up and we'll send you a market report every single month, and you can kind of snoop on all the neighbors and see what's going on. We are going to have some more team members call in and chat with us a little bit here as we make our way through the show. But don't forget, Patrick Glaros and his team over at Cardinal Financial are your first call. If you have a question about refinancing, maybe getting some of that equity out of the house, maybe lowering that monthly payment to manage some challenging financial times, or if you're looking to take advantage of the opportunity of this unique market, if you're looking to take advantage of the ability to grab some low interest rates and move on. We do have John Kanika, the one and only Johnny K, marketing specialist on our team, calling into the show right now. Did you guys hear the ringer on that?
Yep.
We're doing a radio show from our houses, fellas. I'm proud of us. What's up, John? How are you?
Todd, professional.
Hey, good. Doing well.
Good to have you. Folks, you're listening to Texas Real Estate with Todd Tramonte. And we've got some of our team members on the Todd Tramonte home selling team just calling into the show today to tell us kind of what's happening out in the market. You know, as Governor Abbott has lifted the restrictions on real estate agents, we've got a little bit more freedom to be out and about. We're going to be real careful with that and respectful with that. But in a lot of ways, we've been working hard for clients and prospects and neighbors the whole time. Not meaning out in houses illegally. We've been following all the rules, but we've been getting a lot of calls. We've been putting houses on the market. We've been selling houses. John, would you give us just kind of a minute or two on what you've been up to, what the market has looked like, what you've been hearing from clients lately?
Sure. I had some pretty good actually feedback considering all what's going on, where people are still looking to sell their homes. I have 2 going live actually tomorrow in the market.
Nice.
And I have about 5 right now on the market, and have been getting quite a bit of showings on those still in the situation. Some of them have done some virtual like tour stuff, and then some have gone just right out to look at them. And the sellers of those homes have been, you know, hey, just wiping down, and then of course, you know, please be careful with touching and this and that. So been having showings, and she's going live tomorrow. So it's been good, and I've actually signed 2 new people last week over the Zoom meeting.
Right.
So
let me pause for a second and just point. First of all, John is probably the most modest person on our team. John is an absolute all-star, has been a top producing agent on our team for 5 years now, and is really, really good at what he does. We joke in our office that John is the record breaker. John just destroys all-time records for highest sales price in the neighborhood, and he does it all the time. Literally, like way more often than he doesn't. John breaks a record in the neighborhood. He's so good at what he does. He understands our unique proprietary marketing system, and he understands people, and he does a phenomenal job of navigating the process and leading them through the transaction, and then obviously negotiating really great deals. But John pointed out that he signed 2 new seller clients this week alone on Zoom. So most of you by now are familiar with Zoom, but if you're not, it's just, you know, basically a video phone call, a video chat online, where John has been able to show people our unique proprietary marketing system and how he would implement that uniquely with their home and their situation, and signed 2 new clients in a week during coronavirus shelter-in-place lockdowns, when the average agent would only have 6 or 7 or 8 new clients in an entire year during a normal market. John's on pace for 100, you know, 2 a week in one of the most challenging markets that most of us have ever been around. And I've been in this business for 18 plus years now. So first of all, well done, John. Crowd goes wild. And second of all, if you're listening and you're thinking, well, I didn't think you could still sell right now, how you meet with an agent, that's one way we're solving that problem. And we've had a lot of clients that have actually said they prefer that. They don't want any more people in their house than they need to. They don't want to get out of the house and get dressed and meet somebody. You know, they would love to, you know, throw on a clean shirt, jump on a video chat at the laptop at the kitchen counter or whatever, and ask their questions and get their answers. And some of them are ready to do something now. Some of them aren't. But great point, John. Now, I know you've put some really incredible deals together lately. Just give us one example of a transaction you've put together in the last week or so before we wrap up.
Okay, and I was mentioning that too with the closings too. I had 2 closings yesterday. One seller closed from her living room on her computer with a camera where the title company could see her, and was able to do a total virtual closing without even a notary coming to the house. And it closed, funded. Another one that closed yesterday actually went to the title company. So people are, you know, feeling different about how they want to do this. But just so everybody knows, you can actually close from the living room of your house, if you're needing to do that.
Yeah, great. I mean, it's exciting for people to know that, and for people to understand that they do have options still. And that those deals that, you know, again, John's super modest, but those deals that John is closing out are deals where sellers are not giving their houses away. Sellers are not having to drop their price way below market value. John is still getting buyers to compete for his listings and getting sellers absolute top dollar, where they are walking away with significantly more in their pocket than comparable homes have sold and are selling for. Our guarantee is to sell your home over the average price and under the average time. And John is knocking that out of the park. Right now, our team is averaging about 6.8% over the average sales price. And John is at least holding the line on that, if not pushing the upward limits of that. So he's put
And
some,
to answer your question about the latest deal that I put together was a property with the buyer, with the seller. When I talked to him, we were saying, hey, probably around 350. We were able to get on, as far as what we expectations were. We executed at 365.
Yeah, man.
About a week ago. So.
Hey, listen, if you ever find $15,000 laying around, I'm always willing to take that. That's kind of always my joke with these home sellers is like, that's real money. That's $15,000, and that deal's not even over yet. And I know John well enough to know that as they move forward with wrapping up those final negotiations, he's highly likely to save them another $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000. So for the sake of time, John, we're going to let you go, but I really appreciate you calling in. If you would love to connect with John about selling your house on the Dallas side of the Metroplex, just reach out to us at overunderagent.com, and we would gladly get you connected with him. Or you can email him whenever you want, JOHN, john@toddtramonte.com. But overunderagent.com is a good catch-all to connect with Leah or John or any of our other agents. I know we've got a few other agents that are planning on calling in, and we're excited to talk with them as well. If you're thinking more about your insurance now that things are a little bit sensitive, you want to chat with DP Lambert. You can shoot him an email directly at DP, like Dr. Pepper, dp.lambert@goosehead.com, or you can just find him on treradio.com. I just got a text as we were starting the show that I recommended him to my sister. I use him personally. I know Ian does too. I just recommended him to my sister. Hey, look at that. We got a call here from the one and only David Goss on the
I also use DP now. He got me great coverage for home and auto.
Mason's almost a homeowner.
So as we were starting the show, I got a text that he said, hey, I just spoke with your sister. We're going to save them over $1,500 per year. And my sister's in Houston. So obviously DP can help you wherever you are. We've got David Goss joining us. I like to refer to him as David Goss. What's up, David? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. What's going on?
We were just bragging on your buddy, DP Lambert. We know you use DP and have referred him 11,400 times. So dp.lambert@goosehead.com, or just go to treradio.com and find all of our recommended pros there. DP Lambert right there for all your insurance needs. For the sake of time, David, let's jump right into it. I would love to hear from you on when you're talking to home buyers. David specializes with home buyers on the Dallas, Richardson, Plano, Allen side of things. What are you hearing from people? What are your conversations like? Are people afraid to go out and buy? Are people still wanting to buy? What are you hearing?
My pipeline's been pretty full and it's staying full because I'm been able to make some calls, and I've got a couple of people that have said, we want to wait a week or two, but I've got a handful right now, 4 or 5 that are like, we've got to go find a house, and so they are pushing forward and know that it's a good time to buy, and so we're doing that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just so you guys know, David is doing our zero touch showings very, very well. He's got gloves and hand sanitizer and shoe covers, and we're doing whatever that seller wants or needs to get our buyer access, but we're also limiting the number of showings. So David can share a screen on a Zoom call or a FaceTime or something and go through houses virtually with his buyers and help them narrow down the list to only those finalists that they might really strongly consider an offer for. Obviously, he's connecting them with lenders and home inspectors and anything they would need. They can make their own choices, but he's helping get them connected and then taking them through a home when it's almost offer time, when it's like, okay, if it's great, we want to make an offer. And then David is dominating buyer negotiations. We're running out of time here, but I want to make sure that David gets to tell a couple of stories. Would you tell the story about what you were able to do on a new construction deal last week or the week before where your client saved $30-something thousand, and then tell any of the stories you really want from this week just on deals you were able to negotiate because of this crazy time? Go ahead.
Sure, absolutely. Clients are looking up in the McKinney Prosper area for a new build, and we actually were able to negotiate on the old model home, meaning it's new. It was built 2 years ago, but the builder moved next door to a new model home, and this one was now for sale. And they, threw it up there at $700,000, and we offered $650,000, and we negotiated, and I pushed them around a little bit, and we were able to get it for $665,000. So, and apparently he kept telling me that, oh, we've got lots of people interested, and had offers before. So they took ours. It was a great deal.
And let me just point out how rare that is. New construction's selling extremely well right now. I mean, you don't see new construction going at a discount at all, much less the model home, which usually has every option and every feature possible. And we're running out of time here, so give me one more quick one just from this week in the natural flow of things, because I know of multiple.
Yeah. We did what you said in McKinney. I have a client looking for around $300,000, and we went through about 8 or 9 houses online, and we narrowed it down to 3. And Sunday afternoon, we jumped out there and saw the final 3, and they fell in love with one of them at $300,000. Made an offer Monday, got it accepted yesterday at $290,000. It's been on the market 2 days.
Love that. That's amazing. Ian, it looked like you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Sweet crackers.
Sweet crackers. That's a good deal. Our friend Bonnie Curry over at KLTY loves to say sweet crackers, and it makes us all laugh. But
he also got me a great deal.
Yeah, I wasn't even going to mention that one. So Mason and Jenny were able to get an unbelievably good deal. We talked about it last week on the show, so I wasn't going to bring it up again. But that was a lot of this has to do with David fully understanding the limitations of the coronavirus market and what sellers are motivated by, and not just throwing out a number and being like, oh, we got it. That doesn't take a ton of skill, although not everybody's doing that, but being able to understand how to make that seller happy still and get a better deal for his buyer. So for the sake of time, we're going to rack things up here. If you don't know the current value of your property, you've got to check it at valuethishouse.com. valuethishouse.com. You can find out what your house would sell for or lease for in the current market in less than 1 minute. I think in this market, you need to be doing that at least once a month. If we can help you buy, sell, invest, or simply feel better about your life in any way, maintenance, or just a good answer to encourage you about the market, you can call us or text us anytime. 214-310-0008, 214-310-0008, or as always, find us online at overunderagent.com. That's overunderagent.com. We'll talk to you next week with more Texas real estate on WBAP.